Hey folks, Dave the Not So Evil Viking 13 here, returning to my Fallout 4 Let's Build project, where I have actually torn out my original settlement build from 2015 here in Sanctuary Hills, and I am working on rebuilding it. And you guys, according to the comments from last episode, of which there were a ton, you guys are on the same page as I am. I'm imagining the rebuilt sanctuary as what the name says, a sanctuary. A place where all of the almost authoritarian and overbearing military aspects of my own personal Minutemen faction are kind of excused, because we're actually creating a new suburbia here in the apocalypse, a place where you can get away from it all for a while. I've only done a bit of tweaking since the last episode. I have been going over your feedback and going through all those comments. It's been a lot of fun to see what kind of suggestions you guys have. As you can tell, the pool table and the disco ball is gone from inside of the Patriot bar here. I like the idea of adding a patio out back, and I'll be doing that a bit later. You'll also notice that there are no walls right now. I'm still working on my custom Wasteland wall mod that I'm going to use to wall in the entirety of this settlement, and I am still planning on making that available for you guys, but actually as a standalone mod, not as a part of my Minutemen Morale mod. It'll be available for just the walls if you just want those. Here's how it's looking right now. Again, you guys were on the same page as I was. I'm not going to have just one section. There will be, in the initial version, I'd say most likely 4 different variants of this, I think 2 or 3 meter section right here. So we'll have different bits of wood and concrete blocks and rebar supports to help make it not look repetitive if you build multiple ones. So 4 small sections, most likely a single long section made up of the equivalent of 3 or 4 of these small sections. There will also be 1 doorway section and 1 end cap to use as well. And that's just in the first version. I'll most likely expand it from there, but that's my goal for the first version to use for this settlement here in Sanctuary Hills / Fortress Sanctuary, and to get a version out for you guys to use as well. As you can see, I have finalized a bit more of the design, and I have removed the rebar on the outside of the walls to make sure that the attackers couldn't just climb right over. You guys were 100% right about that. Additionally, I added some metal sheeting to the outside so that there's really no place for you to get a grip on any of the loose stones. And I'll be, of course, flipping the texture and making a few different versions of that. Metal, corrugated metal right there, so that you don't have a repeating texture. Again, all still works in progress, but I'm really happy with how it's going so far. Now, returning to the in-game build, as you guys can see, I am now finally using my rickety Sanctuary Repaired Bridge mod, which is available on all platforms, Xbox, PC, and PS4. That's right, I finally got a version out for PS4. You guys can go download that right now. I guess I could go back and show you what it does, huh? I've made just a very simple mod here that repairs the Sanctuary Bridge and makes it look like the Minutemen have actually done some work to it and haven't just left it to fall apart with all of their pack Brahmins going across it. But again, for now, you can download this mod on all platforms and fix your own Sanctuary Bridge in a lore-friendly way. Before we get started on today's building, I'll show you guys one more mod that I'm using for Sanctuary Hills. Again, all these mods, at least the PC versions of them that I'm using, are linked in the document, linked in the description. I'm using a mod called Paint Those Houses, I believe. As you guys can see, it fits in perfectly with my theme of rebuilding. It doesn't make the buildings here in Sanctuary pre-war or perfect. I've seen that too often, and for my style it just does not fit. But what it does do is just repair the house a little bit. It's as if the settlers here put a fresh coat of paint on top of the rust. Check out those cool bits of just slight dirt and debris on that wall texture, and on the floor textures. It really just feels like the place has been cleaned up. And awkwardly, seeing it's full of my soldiers, this is what in my original tour was my house, obviously. But thanks to those updated textures, it just feels like it's lived in, and I'm not just living in a trash heap right after the bombs went off. Okay, that's enough modding talk for now. Let's actually get building. And the eagle-eyed among you would have already noticed that I have gotten a head start on the building for this episode. What we're going to be working on today is the Lodge Hall, Town Hall, or Meeting Hall. I haven't decided what I'm going to call it just yet. It's the central building here in Sanctuary, because what I'm imagining here, as the Minutemen have rebuilt it, is a combination of these pre-war, very modern-looking homes, and then buildings that the Minutemen have rebuilt to support the community that we're rebuilding here. So this is going to be our lodge. Originally I had a very small dining area across the street. As I try to load into the workshop here, there we go. But as Sanctuary has grown, both in reality and in my imagination, we don't really have enough space to support the amount of population that we're going to have here. Right now it's 23 people, and I might try to pack a few extra in on top of that. So what I'm going to do here is get a nice floor going here. I'm going to turn off floor snapping. And this will be the central stage, if you will, of the dining hall slash lodge meeting room. Is that the right angle? I can't tell. Okay, yeah, that's the right angle. I just want to make sure that we're actually centered here. This is looking quite good, actually. And then over here, we will go outside and fill in the gaps. I wanted to save the detailing for you guys and do a bit of the structure work myself, because this structure involved quite a bit of customization. And there are still a few glitches like that one right there that I'll be having to fix. This is made up of those brick and wood walls that I used for the Patriot Bar, as well as a really awesome mod called Cabin in the Woods that made these very cool looking wooden pieces and log pieces that give it a very rustic look. And as you guys can tell, I'm also still working on my frame rate. I think you guys were correct in that I haven't let enough in-game time go past for the game to actually remove things from Sanctuary Hills that I've scrapped. So I've been trying to let as much time go by as possible, but additionally, I exported my Red Rocket settlement to Settlement Transfer Blueprints, and then I went ahead and deleted it from the game to make room for Sanctuary, because I built Red Rocket after my original Sanctuary build, not realizing how close it was to Sanctuary, and those two builds have been fighting for FPS ever since. Let's see how this stone floor is going to look. That's definitely unique. I really like this Cabin in the Woods mod. I have a couple of different builds with some ideas in mind to make good use of it. And this is an awkward step right here. Let's see if I can add a stone to it. Nice, there we go. And perhaps a bit of stone for this sidewalk as well. Cool. Let's see if I can place my fireplaces. I'm not sure if I accidentally deleted the fireplace menu. Nope, it's still here. So I will build a nice little fireplace in here. Although, let me check and make sure that the Cabin in the Woods mod does not come with its own fireplaces. It might. It's got windows and railings. And roof chimneys. Oh, but I already have a chimney right there. Vertical log, vertical log. So yeah, guys, I imagine this as the eating area for the settlement, if not the cooking area. That will have to be separate, I think. Not quite enough room in here. Chimney wall, okay. There are fireplace pieces. Feel like there are, but for now, I'll just use a fireplace from this mod and clip it into the stone fireplace here. Well, that's cool because it actually gives it a mantle. Oh yeah, I actually really like how that looks with the mantle attached to it. Again, this will make a great meeting hall for the settlement. Structures, let's say, scaffolding. What a weird place to put the cabin mod. There's some railings here I want to use next. Turn snapping back on. Oh, these are huge. What on earth? They're absolutely huge. I might just do ones on the side like this and leave the stage mostly open. Oop. I'll just move them a few units to the side like this. Okay. Let's look at the railings for up here. This is how the second floor works. You come up the stairs right there. Got a few stacked floor pieces, and you've got an open area right now, but I want this to eventually be where the mayor of Sanctuary works. Obviously, General Dave can't be here all the time. That does not really fit well there at all. Let me see what I have under wood and then miscellaneous. Oh no, the railings are going to be way past all the planks that I have in here. Oh no. Got piers there. So many planks. Wow, I have 30 of these railings stored up. Yeah, that works a little bit better, I think. It is just an awkward staircase because this extra tall building kind of throws things off. But now that we have the upstairs, what would the mayor's office actually look like? Scaffolding, miscellaneous. We've got, I think, under framework, the walls. Yeah, there we go. These are some huge doorways too. I'm just realizing. Could we use barn pieces instead in here? Might actually be smaller. But I'll use place everywhere to get a room going here. And then I'll just use a flat rooftop here. Just seal it in. odd that it doesn't quite seal the gap in. Oh, right, I moved the wall over. That's why. Okay. That's right. To fill in the gap, I'm just going to put this one over here manually. Like so. A little bit messy, but this is a unique building, so that's fine. Kind of like the old barn doors, too. Okay, yeah, those doorways are huge. It's like houses for giants. What's up with that? I don't know, would any other doors work better here? Let's take a look. We do have those old manor style doors. Let's look at those real quick before I go crazy with the barn doors. Yeah, the manor doors kind of work better. We'll use those. From the way that my FPS is shifting constantly, I feel like the game still has not quite deleted a lot of the objects that were here. It hasn't cleaned it up yet. Because the FPS is still acting like I'm adding more things onto my original build. Okay. What do they offer for doors for the scaffolding? Okay, these giant ones. Now I gotcha. I'll use one of the giant ones, I suppose. I wonder if those are for super mutants. That's kind of interesting. And although I try to avoid using it because you guys can't download it easily anymore, I'm going to go to my snap and build railings. They have a really cool set right here you can build. If it'll snap to where I want it to. It will not snap to where I want it to. What if I do this? Delete that one. Perfect. Now we have some railings for our porch, which overlooks the General's house right there. Our original Minutemen park over there, and Dogmeat is even here. Haven't seen him in a long time. I wonder, should I have a second office here for the mayor? This is a pretty huge space. I'll think that over some while I decorate our lodge hall here. Now this building has mostly natural lighting, lots of windows as you can see. I used a lot of these windows on my build way back at the boot camp, so I don't think the windows are causing all the FPS drops. I think the game just hasn't cleaned up the old settlement yet. Hopefully it will in time. Hopefully. Okay. Let's put snap and build behind us. What do we have for stairs again? For the cabin mod, any very small stairs? And these are quite big. Even sunken into the ground. Kind of cool though. Yeah, if I just scoot him out of the way some. I'll actually snap that one back up there, I think. So we've got a stairway to get up to our platform, and for the mayor or the general to address the town. Aha! Under surfaces and miscellaneous, our lectern. Turn surface snapping back on there. And although I want to put some furniture in here next, can't resist mounting some kind of creature on the wall. What do I have? Mirelurk Claw. Rad Stag heads. Perfect for the lodge. Awesome. So let's think about our seating in here. I think it's going to be bench style. Let's take a look at furniture, surfaces, coffee and dining tables. Don't want it to be too modern. After all, this is a lodge. Or too fancy. It's more of a coffee table. Should I go, guys, with a picnic table? Perhaps? Even inside? I kind of like the look of these better. Let's place a couple. See what you guys think. I have to put one of them like this over here. And perhaps two in the center of the room. So we got room for our meetings and our dining. And even though this is not where the food prep will be, we should put some countertops in here all the same. What's the oldest style wood countertops we have? These are just about perfect, I think. Put one back over here for some prep area. So actually sink that into the wall just a tiny bit. And then perhaps one here as well. What else do we have for fixtures? Those countertops. Have the shop counter style. Actually, I kind of like the shop counter style better back under here. It's even got a curved piece. Okay. Oh, I know one thing that's missing. As we look out here, we need to get ourselves some Minutemen propaganda. Because if this building does not say that we're rebuilding America, I don't know what does. Let's move that out just a bit so it's not clipping. Rotate it just the tiniest bit. I'm gonna scale this one up a bit too. Make it an extra large banner. I'm going to restart my game here in a minute, guys, just because the FPS has gotten so out of control. Just restarting the game should fix it. I think a couple pieces of patriotic bunting, whoops, rescaled it. We'll add to the effect out here for the town hall. I don't want all of these buildings to look the same, but I do want them to share the same styles. And as I finish these last few banners before I restart the game, I'll talk over what I have in mind for the rest of the houses here in Sanctuary. I want to turn every single house into a residence. I want all the sleeping quarters to be in the pre-war houses that have been repainted and touched up by the Minutemen. I think that will really sell that idea of we've actually rebuilt some. I'm also still debating on if we're going to actually do a full tour of this one. A lot of you guys, I would say the majority of you, were asking for a tour, and if I do a tour, I do have some things that I would want to keep secret from the Let's Build process, so that you guys have some surprises for the tour. So I guess that'll be the big question for today's episode. Tour or no tour? And question 2, let's add this one on there too. A lot of you guys were asking if I had plans for the waterfront. Possibly. How many of you guys would want to see me try and use both the waterfront and Main Street here? You guys let me know in the comments what you think. For now, daylight is fading. Let me do a save and I'll restart my game, and hopefully we'll get some FPS back, and we'll keep detailing on this thing. And we're back, and so is our frame rate.
People have been complaining a bit about
I think part of the problem is just going through the mod menu, although this is the only settlement where it hits it that hard. Before I go back to work on our central lodge, which I need to find a name for, so if you guys have name ideas, you guys toss your name ideas down in the comments as well. I'm going to rebuild my walkway that goes around a good chunk of Sanctuary. It won't be across the entire settlement, but I liked having this raised platform that ran along the rooftops for easy defensive access. There will be, of course, turrets all over the place as well. Yeah, if I use more of the houses for lodging, then all of my new structures will be government buildings like the Lodge and the Patriot Bar. Is there anything else that would really make this stand out? Under decorations. Where's my statues category? Statues, there it is. Different icon. I haven't used these lion statues before. That could be an imposing statue for out front. Ooh, that's a lot of copper. And seeing this is a government building, that could fit really, really well. So that leaves some brush that I forgot apparently. The central tree here. Got this empty pad right here that I have a few ideas for, but I'll keep those secret. And down along the waterfront, I've left a lot of this mostly the same for now. Before I go back to work on the dining area in the lodge, let me prototype a few things for you guys. I'm thinking about adding living trees here to Sanctuary to really give it that we're trying to come back from the apocalypse look. But I'm thinking of using the orange trees, the autumn trees, to make it seem like they're having a hard time living out here. And this is kind of what I had in mind for them, guys. Not a lot of them, but a few going up and down the block on each side of the road, perhaps one in front of each house. Let's just do 4 for now, because I want to get your opinions on this. That one's kind of green. The largest one being in front of General Dave's house, of course. Wait, that elm tree is massive. Can we shrink that down some? Okay. That's more reasonable. That would work for our small park there. We do 6 actually, so you guys can visualize what I'm talking about. So let's do one here. Will that cover up our banners? A little bit. That's too close to the curve. I'll just rotate it this way. And one more on this side. Went through a bit of wood right there building these. Okay, but here's how I imagine things. Again, I wanted you guys to be able to visualize this as I was talking about it, so there you have it. What I would want to add then, under the decorations, it would actually be under keywords expanded decorations. I want to go to the Greebles category, and for each tree, I would want to have some kind of device next to it, just pumping it full of nutrients and crazy, you know, Fallout science stuff that we would have stolen from the Institute that's keeping these things alive. Even just barely. So let's look at the Mechanist layer here. Now let's look at the vanilla category first. Oh. What kind of machinery could I put beside each one of these living-ish trees that would really sell the idea that it's barely alive at all? Let's try a bit of piping like this. I'll shrink it down to make it fit. Let's clip it into the tree a bit. I don't know. I think this might be an idea that I have to play with some, without taking up too much of your time watching me do it. But let me know what you guys think. Could I get away with adding living trees if I excuse their existence with some kind of creepy tech that's just attached to each one, as if they're barely holding on? Also, where was that water tower? I want to add one of those. Machine water tower. No, I want the railroad style one. Because of course we're going to have water pumps, but a water tower makes a lot of sense where we could pump water out of the river and have it available inside of our secure walls somewhere up here. Again, what kind of Brahmin had to sacrifice their lives to to carry all the parts to build that thing over here, you know? Okay. That's my idea for the trees. Let's take a closer look at our lodge here. Oop. Let's do some lighting. I think I may do all lanterns in here. And then I'll do these chandeliers upstairs. Oop, grab the wall. Still want to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with this gigantic room. That again may have to be off the air, because I want to play with it a bit more, see what comes to mind. Now what we could do is, if we use the G2M lanterns, we can hang them from the ceiling. That might be a really cool effect. And then I could get away with just 2 lanterns, possibly. Let me try that, guys. Construction. Not Skybridge. No. Coast. Construction. Yeah. Can use these hooks right here. Place 1 hook like that. There's another hook over here. And we can hang lanterns over them, like so. Though they don't really provide a ton of light. How about these? Yeah, not a ton of light. Let's see, if I lower them down. That's not going to look good. That's okay. We'll leave this room a little bit darker. Perhaps we can just put a single light in here. This is really going to take away from my FPS and what's available to put on other buildings, but yeah, the ambience is really cool in here. I think it's worth it. What do you guys think? So that'll leave some perhaps drink machines and whatnot here in the back. Thinking about getting rid of one of these picnic tables too. Ooh, or I could do 2 of them like this. Hadn't thought of that. That could work. Oh man, where was I? Seats. Benches? No. There's, surfaces. Miscellaneous, there we go. And the picnic table. Yeah, that kind of works. I don't know why, but this... well, I kind of know why. This lodge reminds me of Winterfell in Game of Thrones. General in the North! General in the North! Okay. I'm liking that rustic style going on there. Again, I think the trees out front are pretty close to what I'm aiming for for making it feel like somewhere in between the pre-war, you know, it's totally revitalized, and the post-war, it's all destroyed. It has that rebuilding look, but it hasn't gone too far. Honestly, guys, I need to get cracking on those walls because I want to start filling this place in with walls as soon as possible. Oh yeah, look at all this stuff back here I can scrap. Or not. Yeah, I need to get those walls down so I have a better idea of how much space I'm going to work with, because if I populate all of these houses, my poor frame rate is going to take a hit. Oh yeah, I put shack walls in here back when I was going to turn this into a prison back in my original build. So, fun trivia, I hit my FPS limit. Fun trivia, I guess. I hit my FPS limit that I set for myself, usually 30, before I could turn this into the sheriff's office / prison I had been planning on. It's so funny to remove these bits of wall and floor now too, because it took me so long to glitch them, essentially. Because it took me so long to glitch them into these buildings without the place everywhere mod. Just because I would have to like float one outside here against the edge of the roof and then try and snap one into the building and glitch it through. And now I can just place things wherever I want. The possibilities are endless. If only my time was endless. And my FPS too, I guess, as we've seen so far. Let's end today, guys, because I'm kind of stumped on what I'm going to do upstairs there at the lodge. Let's end today with looking at the back patio possibilities for the Patriot Bar. To do that, let's go to concrete and floors. We have a bunch of options here, as you guys can see. What's a good dirty looking cinder block? That's the castle. Here we go. I believe that actually matches the texture. Yeah, it does. Perfect. No idea why that's wanting to snap there so bad. Just turn off object snapping there for a second. Oh. I'll turn off surface snapping too. This is where you guys can really tell what I was talking about. Fallout can no longer tell me you can't do that. I place objects where I want to. My little stairwell rebuilt out here. There we go, I can still climb up that. These need to be twisted so that the cinder block actually lines up like that. And yeah, for the Patriot Bar, we'll use some nicer looking railings. G2M, see, construction, wood, and then stairs, and then all the way to the end. Here we go. There's the railings I'm looking for. This will be the back patio for the game room. Oh. I am seeing we need to go back to concrete because we have a slight gap there in the stairs, and that's just going to bug me, especially if you guys see it. So don't look yet. Let me fix it. Okay. I'll put that kind of centered. Cool. Just so that we have no gap there in the stairs. Now for our rooftops. What do we use? I think the barn rooftops. What do the warehouse rooftops have? Ooh, I kind of like this. We could do this number right here for the porch. That's actually a little bit low. Still kind of low. Okay. And for supports, I kind of want to go back and see what Cabin in the Woods offers. Because they have some nice pillars and stuff like that under their miscellaneous category. That one's way too thick. Vertical log. They had some vertical beams. Yeah, they're kind of thick too. That might work. Let's see. You know what I probably should have checked here, guys? Does the freaking pool table actually fit up here? I don't know if it will. I should have checked. Oh no. See, furniture. What was it under? Tables, possibly? Surfaces. Miscellaneous. Okay, phew, found it. And, yep. It's huge. Okay, not to fret. Got a plan here, guys. I swear I've got a plan. Why didn't I check that first? Normally, this would be a waste of my time, but you guys get to come along for the ride too. Okay, we still have our floors selected. Let's get that snapped again. Come on, snap. Does it not snap? Interesting. So we can just move these out. Kind of don't want to do a full extension to the deck, just like that much. To make things awkward, but thanks to the power of place everywhere, I can make things work. See, I'm going to scale these up 1, 2, 1, 2. Scoot it to the right. Scoot it up. And out. Now the water pools directly onto the pool table. Now because I rescaled it, the snapping points won't be exact. So I will have to do some reorganization there. It's okay. Now we just fix our pillars. I think we're almost in business here, guys. Move that 2 units to the right. That one, 3 units. Now we just need another piece of the G2M railing. For there. And there. I think the pool table is mostly out of the weather now. And we have some additional room for some patio chairs. Let's go ahead and place a couple of those while I'm thinking about it. Come on, where's those patio chairs? Yeah, they're in here somewhere. There we go. And let's see. Put one kind of coffee table back there, I think. End table. Where's that? Yeah, beat up looking one. Because stylistically, you guys know what's happening next back here. Do a quick save. If there's no pool table and disco ball inside, that must mean we're gonna have our disco ball outside. Power, lights. I think under miscellaneous lights is where it is. We go all the way to the end. Where's that disco ball? Past all of our colored lights. There it is. Just realized it's actually called a mirror ball, not a disco ball. We all know what it is. It is a disco ball. Party on the porch. Fine dining on the inside. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today on our quest to turn Fortress Sanctuary into our own version of Sanctuary Hills and really hammer home the sanctuary part of that name and make a place that is really worth protecting. And for the citizens of General Dave's Minutemen Empire, a place worth putting up with all of his propaganda in order to enjoy. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.